Drake versus Kendrick Lamar. This is the rap beef that just will not die. To bring you up to speed, because I'm sure you have a life, and well, I just love following this story. Every time there's a big Kendrick moment, seemingly Drake and his team try to get Drake as far away from that moment as possible. If you remember at the Super Bowl, Drake was in Australia and he hadn't toured Australia in forever. You can't get further away from New Orleans, Louisiana than Australia. And then the minute the Super Bowl was over and the Grammys were over, remember, because the Grammys were right around that time and Kendrick swept the Grammys and cleaned up nice, Drake canceled the last remaining dates of the tour and he came home. It was like coast is clear kind of vibe. So now Kendrick has 2 stadium shows at the Rogers Center in Drake's hometown of Toronto. Now you would imagine that people in Toronto would be like, yo, F you, Kendrick. We got Drake. Drake's our guy. He's the biggest artist ever come out of this city. He completely reimagined what it meant to be a Canadian rapper and a Toronto rapper. Before Drake, yeah, Official. Cardinal. Oh, what was his big song? Dangerous. That girl is so dangerous. That girl. Anyways, Drake, you'd imagine, would just own Toronto. You'd imagine Kendrick would be scared to perform there, right? Would anyone go in Toronto? We'll get to that. Not only did they go, they gave the man a standing ovation. People started wondering, what is Drake going to do? How is Drake going to respond to Kendrick running a stadium show in Drake's hometown? Has Drake ever run the Rogers Center? Let's see if ChatGPT knows the answer to that. Wow. Drake has never headlined a concert at the Rogers Center. However, he has filmed there in the music video for Headlines. That doesn't count. Now, just to confirm, where is Kendrick Lamar performing in Toronto? Yeah, it's the Rogers Center. That's pretty crazy, man. Kendrick ran the Rogers Center before Drake did. That's pretty crazy. In any event, people are wondering, what is Drake going to do now that Kendrick is in his hometown doing 2 stadium shows? What Drake is going to do is stream with Kai Cenat. The pair plan to be handing out $300,000 to 20 different creators to bring their music videos to life. Drake has no plans on checking out Kendrick Lamar and his grand national tour stop in Toronto. Instead, he'll be doing a live stream with Kai Cenat, picking winners from the Somebody Loves Me music video treatment challenge they announced in May, where 20 creators will be given $15,000 each to bring their ideas to life. Cenat announced on Instagram stories that he and Drake intended to go live, but felt like they needed more time to sift through the submissions, so they decided to push the live stream back one day. This isn't the first time Drake has scheduled something around one of Kendrick's shows. The first date of his Anita Max Win Australia tour coincided with the Compton rapper's historic Super Bowl halftime performance on February 9th. It's also fair to add that Kendrick and SZA will be performing in Toronto on Friday, so maybe Drake will pop out for that one. This is just the latest chapter in their bitter beef that came to a head last spring when the 2 superstars exchanged diss tracks after years of sending subliminal shots. But they delayed the stream. In addition to that, Drake dropped a song today called Tumaza. And this thing is so Canadian, I don't even know what he's saying. So let's check this out together. Man, ads are just like ruining websites, I'll tell you that. Let's look up these lyrics. Okay, check this out. So this is a new song he did with Smiley. Smiley's a guy that's on Drake's label, Canadian artist. Drake says, I remember pushing DT with the Mandem, whipping 2 Mazdas, grocery shopping at Royal York Plaza. Nobody knows what this is unless you live in Toronto. Me and Lil Sandra was broke on the Gaza. First floor room at the airport Ramada. I'm trying to make the most out of nada. Now shorty see me and say, oh my God, it's Mr. Tumaza. So then they're both on the hook and they go, I'm with Smigolino. I'm with Smigolati. Mr. Don't Mix the Gucci and Prada. Me, I'm the 6th God. Bob is a bulldog. Both could have been at Gonzaga. Some nights I want to cut. The city's been hot like lava. Yeah, a little Waterloo road trip. Shorty see me and said, oh, girl, that's Mr. Tumaza. Maza is UK slang for madness. So Drake calls himself Mr. Tumaza to reflect. He's over the top. He's crazy. Drake's nuts. Drake's nuts, dude. You think you're crazy? You're just Mr. Maza. Drake? He's Mr. Tumaza. Anyways, I'm having fun and I'm just poking fun at the song. But the song is important if you really want to analyze this whole strategy of Drake. So his first part of the strategy is when Kendrick comes around, he goes away. Kendrick does the Super Bowl, Drake goes to the other side of the universe, Australia. Australia doesn't care about the Super Bowl, right? Kendrick performs a show in Toronto at the Rogers Center. That's going to be millennial people that grew up with Kendrick, a little bit of Gen Z, but mostly the upper demo that's going to really rock with Kendrick like that, right? Kendrick's so huge, though, I'm sure a lot of young people are there too. Drake is going to now go to like the audience and try to get that land grab because he's seemingly losing the hip hop land to Kendrick, right? And then if you notice, he's really leaning into the Toronto stuff. So it's really like, I don't care about the US anymore. I'm Mr. Toronto. And that's why the lingo I was joking about, I don't know it because I'm not from Toronto, I'm not from Canada, but he's really leaning into the whole Toronto of it all now, if you notice, which I do think is a response to him being rejected in America. Again, he did Nokia, he released Nokia, he released the video when Luther was losing momentum on the Hot 100, and even with all of those contributions, he couldn't get to number one. Kendrick prevented him from getting number one. And so I think that probably really messes with a guy like Drake. Drake has famously said in a song, I'd probably self-destruct if I ever lose, but I never do. I think he said that on Do Not Disturb in 2017 on More Life. We're seeing him lose now. I'm not saying he's self-destructing, but things are going from bad to worse for Drake. Kendrick did do the show. I guess Drake didn't do the stream last night with Kai Cenat, but Kendrick did go along with the show. I will show you what happened here. This is interesting. Check this out. So Kendrick performs Not Like Us, the Drake song where he calls Drake a P word. He performed Not Like Us in Toronto. The crowd asked for an encore. He didn't just perform the song. They didn't just sing along to the song. The crowd asked for an encore. And by the way, this isn't like the Daily Mail or like the New York Post. It's Billboard, bro. It's Angel Diaz. Angel Diaz used to write for Complex. Angel Diaz is like a real writer. He's like a real journalist. This isn't like clickbait. It says K-Dot and SZA kicked off the first night of their 2-show run in Toronto on their Grand National Tour. It says on Thursday night, the Grand National Tour had its first of 2 back-to-back shows in Drake's hometown of Toronto, and it didn't disappoint in the drama department. The Compton rapper performed his knockout punch, Not Like Us, as the crowd rapped along, and even asked for an encore with footage surfacing from the audience screaming, one more time, one more time. Okay, let's try to watch this. I can't get flagged for this. There's no way. Can you guys hear that? Is that playing? Hold on, let me make sure it's playing. There we go. Now you'll hear it. This is him performing the song in Toronto. I hope this doesn't get flagged. 1 second. No, we can't play that. It's just the song. Anyways, there was also talk of beefed up security at the show. See, that's where my mind would go, is what would be the vibe? Because you remember when, was it a Pusha T show? Somebody got jumped in like one of Drake's beefs at a Toronto show. Can I look that up? Was it Pusha T? Yeah. Look at this. Oh, that's cool. I can switch between. I like that a lot. Okay. Pusha T's Toronto concert canceled after a fight breaks out. This is back in 2018. The Pusha T concert at Toronto's Danforth Music Hall was shut down after a fight broke out on stage. Shocking video of the melee was quickly posted to YouTube, which shows Pusha T and his entourage targeted with punches. Whoa! I forgot about the extent of this. According to witnesses, the show was canceled after about 20 minutes. A post from Toronto Police Operations Center confirms performers were attacked and numerous people were injured as a result of fighting inside the concert hall. It's unclear if the hip-hop star and Good Music president was injured in the clash. Local news posted on Twitter that 3 people were taken to the hospital with minor injuries after a fight took place at the hall. Officers said performers were attacked by a group of people. I hope you heard that. Wow. I forgot how intense that was. Anyways, let's switch back to this one. That's so cool. I can just switch back and forth. Show this tab instead. There we go. Now we're back. I love it. Very cool. There was also talk of beefed up security with rumors flying around of about a 25 police escort. It's according to academics, so grain of salt. And footage of a line of cops outside the venue being shared on social media. Hold on. All right. Kendrick Lamar has left Canada with a 25 car police escort on a flight to New York for his own safety. After performing, he will fly back in from New York to Toronto to perform with SZA tomorrow and will immediately evacuate the country after performing. Really? Yeah, see, there's no... And he can just say whatever he wants. Yeah, that's crazy. All right, so now we're back over here. There's also footage of a line of cops outside the venue. Let's look at this. This is also from academics. What's she saying?
I live right next to the stadium. And I'm going to show you what I see here because I didn't even see this during the Taylor Swift.
Can you guys hear that? For those watching live.
I counted 3 paramedic vans parked right outside the stadium. 1 second. That is one of them. And then right here, you're going to see another one. I'm trying to zoom in here and you can make out the word ambulance. If you look down the road, there's a line of, I don't know if there's security or cops.
This is so stupid. People are so stupid. I'm not saying she's stupid, but I don't know. That's a whole bunch of nothing, guys. There's also video of fans breaking out into song while dining at New Ho King, the Chinese restaurant that found itself in the middle of the rap battle last year and has embraced the publicity, offering fans the first round of drinks on the house. For those who remember, New Ho King made an appearance in the Family Matters video where an employee was seen wearing one of Pharrell's chains that Drake bought in an auction. The Toronto rapper was in the news yesterday. We talked about that. And then they performed again tonight, but we don't really know what went on there. Look at this. This is crazy. So Kendrick Lamar got a 2-minute ovation in Toronto after performing Not Like Us. Kendrick Lamar's joint Grand National Tour with SZA stopped at Toronto's Rogers Centre on Thursday, June 12th, marking the LA rapper's first concert in Drake's hometown since their high-profile beef last year. They're chanting one more time. I hope you can hear that. I don't know if you can if you're watching live, but they're chanting one more time. It's not like the whole arena is doing it or the whole stadium's doing it, but 2-minute ovation is pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy.